Welcome back to the Big Blue Lifers podcast. I'm Mr. U. That's Jess. We're in the house talking all things Big Blue. My God, what's going on, man? How's the day been? You
Yeah,
good?
I'm doing all right. Been a little bit of a long day. I think you were saying that yourself when we were off air, but I'm just happy to be talking Giants football every day that goes by. We are one step closer to week one. We've got college football
Yeah.
back for week 0 this season. Next week, first full week, we're starting it off with LSU Clemson and Ohio State Texas, and then we're off to the races with NFL season. So just holding out for every week, just trying to get there. But that's why we do this. So
Oh,
buy us some time,
you
something to
kidding me?
do while we wait.
That's great. I'm super excited about that, man, because we need football in our lives, man. That's just
Oh
to get
yeah,
down to it. We
we're
need our
addicts.
football.
We are
Yeah, no, we
addicts.
need to have it, man. So believe me, you almost had me forgetting there for a minute about the college. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on lockdown. Saturday and Sunday is gonna be rough to get to get me to do a lot of things. I'm gonna be locked.
Tell the wife, tell your significant other, tell your family. It's fall. That means Thursday nights are off limits, Saturdays off limits, Sundays off limits, Monday nights off
Monday,
limits.
taking a lot of days out of the week. I mean, only left two behind. That's like what's that?
Look, we
Tuesday and
give them
Wednesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Friday,
We
yeah,
don't
man.
ask for much. You get Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Football gets the rest.
Yeah, last year football got some of those days too. They need to start creeping into. It was on a Tuesday one week. It was a Wednesday. I think he got a Friday too. I'm like, wow, you taking all
Yeah.
7 days. It would be hard to live with 7 days of football. It's going to be a hard lifestyle. But I'm excited about this, man. But getting ready and getting geared up for it. And we know that, like you said, we're getting one step closer to football being back on the field and games that actually count. But there's so much fun stuff going on so far. I mean, you text me and I almost forgot what I was doing and why I was doing it. Text. All I saw was Andrew Thomas and Cam Scatterbo practicing. That's all.
Yep.
There's probably somebody else's
Biggest
name in there,
news
but
of
I
the
forgot
day.
the third person's name. I don't remember who that was. I just saw those two. I'm like, oh wow.
Neighbors.
I don't even see his name. I'm like, wow. All I saw was Andrew Thomas and kind of blanked out. Oh, that's so
Hmm.
good. And that's what I wanted. I think it was either last week or week before. I said that's what I just wanted to see. It don't have to be a whole quarter. Half a quarter would be nice. I just wanted to see everybody in there. Let's see how we move, especially. This last week with Russ. This is what we saw then. That's why I want to see this now because I want to see what happens when he's behind the entire line, including AT. I want to see if he does anything differently than what I saw last week. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that I want to see that. And if I can see that and it looks good, I'm a happy camp because that is what we're starting the season with. So I want to just make sure that like I got to make sure like I'm a shareholder or something, right? But I want to just feel good about going into week one. Seeing that we can have the kind of fluidity that we need to have. So that's my little goal. Ain't a big goal, but I want to see AT in there healthy, backing up Russ and kind of see how he does. Make sense?
Yep. Although I will say I wouldn't get your hopes up about it.
Why you always
Um
trying to kill my buzz, man? Why?
well, I'm just being realistic here. Like especially with the comments Andrew Thomas had today, I really, really doubt he's going to be ready to go by Thursday. I think of the three that were activated, Scatabo is the most likely to play. I think they're going to want to get him in there, but they want to be very careful because it's a hamstring, soft tissue. That stuff is so easily re-aggravated. I don't know if they're going to want to take the risk, and I don't think Dable has ever played the starters in the third preseason game. Um, in fact, based on his comments and what Dan Duggan was tweeting about earlier, I'm not even certain Andrew Thomas is going to be there week one. He's activated. He wasn't fully practicing. He was doing one-on-one drills from what I read. And he was commenting that, yeah, I've made a lot of progress compared to even how I was last week, but it's day to day. Today was my first time, really, putting the weight on it, going up against, another 250 to 300-pound guy. So there is still clearly some hesitancy, some, I don't know, like apprehension from his side, and just overall just very overly cautious. The kind of injury that Andrew Thomas sustained is very hard for heavier guys to come back from. The kind of weight that you're putting on your foot, the kind of strain that's on it, and for linemen, in particular, like everybody in football uses their feet a lot. You're running around, you're hitting people, you have a chance to get cleated, all that fun stuff. But for linemen, with the kind of weight that they're putting on it, the way they have to take the brunt of another massive human being, it's hard for them to come back from. So for me, take as long as you need. I would much rather he come back for week 1, kind of get some of that rust off of him, because the area of weakness on that Commanders defense is the edge rusher. They've got some good interior defensive guys. They got some good off-ball linebackers. They don't have a Brian Burns and Abdul Carter. They don't have a Kayvon Thibodeau. So, kind of get, start with that before possibly going up against Micah in week 2. So I'd rather see that, even if it means he's not playing, in the preseason game. But Malik Neighbors, I can't imagine they're going to play him on Thursday. I think they just want to bubble wrap him. But Scatabo, I think they want him to play. I think they want to see, hey, how you feeling, even if it's only for a couple drives. But Thomas and Neighbors, I'm not expecting to see on Thursday.
We'll see what happens. I mean, at this point, there's just so many missing pieces, and you want to go into the. I don't know any coach that would disagree with this at all. Anybody that's worth their salt, anyways. They want to have continuity going into week 1.
Mm-hmm.
It don't have to be no full game. It doesn't have to be any of that stuff. They want continuity, and right now, I'm not really getting that. I don't like the idea of them. The first time we see them together on the field, and well, beside the practices they've had in the past, is week 1 against the Commanders. It doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. I'm good. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. You gotta just deal with it and play the hand that you're dealt. But I don't really feel great about it. I think Neighbors should be in bubble wrap based on what he's been dealing with. So not really worried about that. I think Scatterbo, you're right, needs to be there because Dante Miller, his name is getting bounced around a lot, and he's showing the speed that gave him the nickname Turbo. And he may not be used as a gunner all the time. He may be used in that running back spot. So guys like Scatterbo, he's not going to be cut. I'm not really worried about that. Singletary might have to keep his eyes open a little bit because Turbo makes that roster and starts producing from that spot outside of punt returns and kick returns. It could be a thing. So I'm glad that Turbo is doing what he's doing. That kind of competition is it's been a long time since we've seen competition at the running back position. So I'm happy about it. Make it difficult for them to cut you. That's a good thing. And speaking of that, man, we're coming up on that real quick, man. I think the end of the month, the 31st, I think it is, or the 30th. They're gonna be cutting 1,200 players across the league, man. So guys are fighting for spots and fighting for relevance here because I mean you got a practice squad you can work with and maneuver around and whatnot. But as far as the main roster in the 53, just getting ready to shape up real quick, man. But no, I hear you. I mean, if you say Andrew Thomas is probably not gonna be out there, is what it is, man. I just don't have a warm fuzzy feeling about week 1, knowing that this is their first time in live game action where it really matters for the first time. But go ahead.
Well, I disagree that there isn't continuity because as of right now, this offensive line is the exact same one that it was last year. I mean, well, no, I mean, I'm not doing this to be mean and just disagree for the sake of disagreeing, but this is the same offensive line. Now, obviously, I would rather him not be rusty, but at the same time, there's only so much based on
Same line, but it's not
everything
the same quarterback though, Jess. It's not the same quarterback though.
it's not the
If he
same
was there
quarterback,
last year, okay, I get it.
but he's
But he's
not the
not.
center. He's not the center where, he needs to be snapping the ball and, having that rapport with Russ. I think Andrew Thomas, I think Russ being a veteran is very helpful in this. And I think Andrew Thomas being, when healthy, a top 5 tackle and left tackle in football, will just allow for some baseline level of competency. But Andrew Thomas is going to, I would rather Andrew Thomas be healthy and able to kind of play the rust off, by sitting out the preseason game and just working his way back in practice and then just ready to go for week 1, than trying to force something too quick, on his foot, and then we're missing him the first 4 weeks of the year or something like that,
Yeah.
So I think I trust this staff to know what they're doing. They haven't rushed anyone back from anything. And I mean, it's the Giants. We've been the most injured team in the NFL since 2011, 2012. So, there's only so much anybody can do in that regard. Thankfully, we've changed out the turf. Would rather just go completely to grass, but that's an entirely different discussion here. But overall, I think Andrew Thomas is going to work his way back. I think they're being overly cautious. I think he's just not promising anything in case. As of right now, I would expect him to be there for week 1. I really, really doubt, even if it would be for the best in terms of, continuity and having some game action familiarity, I really doubt they're going to play Andrew Thomas on Thursday.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's fine. I get the point of that because of what he's dealing with, and we're talking about lower leg injuries. We've seen that with a couple players. We talked about one just 2 weeks ago that was a part of our team that was talking about trying to come back to our team. So we know what that looks like. I totally get it, man. But this is one of those situations where I just kind of feel like there's so much promise for this team, despite what people say on the outside looking in. There's so much promise. I'm like, man, I just want this to go right. I just want this to go right because we have an opportunity to to surprise some people. And now I'm hearing people who are in the know that normally don't talk well about the Giants, saying that they see the same thing. They see potential for some shock from the Giants on their schedule this year. So I think for me, I'm probably feeling more anxiety about the roster cuts than I am about the injury situations. It matters and we care about it because, like you said, we got a pretty bad recent injury history. I'm. Are you feeling the same anxiety about the roster cuts, or you like I don't really care? I'm feeling it because I'm looking at the running backs and wide receivers who I'm like, some of these guys got some real potential, but you can't put them all on the practice squad. You can't put them all on special teams. It's like I don't want to see certain guys, like
I
a
don't know.
Turbo. I'm kind of like, man. Defensively, I don't have that feeling because like it's really slim out there,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not.
No,
Some of
we've
those things are
gone,
pretty.
you
It's
know,
pretty decided. Almost probably decided already.
we can't keep Bo Collins, Montreal Washington,
Wash
I
your
think.
mouth out with soap, sir.
We and Turbo,
Why is
we
Bo
can't.
Collins' name in your mouth with a negative spin? Why is his name in your mouth with a
No, I'm not
negativity?
saying anything negative about him. I'm saying that we can't
What?
afford. There aren't enough spots, most likely, to keep all of
No,
these guys.
no. We got to
You
find some
know,
way to keep him around. Special teams, something. We got to.
well, no, I agree. I want to keep them. It's just with. I mean, DeVito's gonna get cut, and then he's gonna find another home. Uh, they shut down the trade rumors about Jameis, so he's not going anywhere. which
I haven't even heard. I haven't even heard the proposal. Was there a proposal
well,
made for him?
teams
Or
allegedly had been reaching out. There had been a lot of speculation about it, especially with how good Dart has looked. But I mean, if possible, I would love to see maybe does a team want to trade for Devin Singletary? Would a team be willing to trade like a fourth for Jalen Hyatt? Like what could without just cutting these guys and eating more dead cap when we've got, I think it's the third least amount of cap space in the NFL right now. Like what could hypothetically we go out there and get for these guys that maybe, we're just seeing more from Turbo. We're seeing more from hypothetically Bo Collins, and then we can keep these guys. But it's very unlikely that any of that happens. Because I don't think any team's going to be willing to give up. Like maybe we get a fifth for Devin Singletary. Maybe we get like a fifth for Jalen Hyatt. But would that be worth it?
Yeah.
Would you do that deal?
Yes.
If it meant re-signing like Bo Collins, if it meant that we could keep Bo Collins, Washington, and Miller, would you trade Jalen Hyatt for a fifth, Devin Singletary for like a fifth?
Well, I'm going to hold off on the Washington thing only because I don't have a lot of information there regarding him. If you can educate me on Montreal Washington, by all means. But as far as Bo Collins and Turbo, whatever, yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. If Washington is up, he's probably on the bubble at this stage of the game right here. I don't know, but yeah, I would definitely do that for a fifth. Why not? I mean, because honestly, everybody feels like Scatterbell's going to be the future. Nobody's really disputing that. And then you got Turbo looking really good, and we need that. I mean, Singletary, he's almost at a place where it's like, and we talked about this. I don't know if we agreed fully on it or not, but he's not. He has the potential to be a trade piece in some way. So I'm okay with that. Uh, you mentioned somebody else who I'm blanking out on who you mentioned, but Hyatt. Me, you and I talked about this stuff at the beginning of the preseason, and even when they were doing camp, we're like, show us something. There's so many high expectations for you, and nobody's been able to say they've seen it on a regular basis. It's like, come on, this is your shot right here. You can end up in a place where it's not good, and then what you gonna do? You can go to the UFL. What you gonna do? So it's like this is the opportunity right here. But for me, if it comes up between him and Bo Collins, I'm with you. I love me some Bo Collins. I'll do that in a minute. And what you said in regards to salary cap, we're not after the second least in the entire league, right above the Bills, who had the least amount of cap. So something happened numbers wise from what you saw, but we had the least now. I mean the second least now. So I don't know how that works with trades and stuff. I think we're gonna have to be creative. A late round pick might be the best we can do for some of those guys. And you know what? Why not? I mean, if you can swing it, let's swing it.
Yeah, no, Montreal Washington's been the guy that he's like 5'10". He's got 2-3 years in the league. He's the wide receiver that Jackson Dart has had a real good connection with in camp. He's the guy that had that crazy like catch, slip out, run down the sideline against the Bills. He's been a camp darling for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that kind of gives you some kind of confidence that he's gonna make it.
I don't know.
Or you want him in trade competitions? What are you saying?
No, there's no trade conversation there.
Okay.
But he's one of these guys that in an ideal world we could keep on the practice squad, but he's done enough that if we cut him, some other team will pick him up, but I don't know if he's good enough to keep. It's kind of like this weird spot where I'd love to have him in like the reserve, like essentially on our practice squad, but I know he's not going to make it there. But like, I don't know. All of these guys, like, they've been bouncing around for a reason, but at the same time, it's like he's great depth to have. It feels like with what he's shown, it feels like he's been great depth. But like, there's no world where I think he's truly done enough. I think, God, with someone like Collins, there's all that. He's a rookie. There's all this untapped potential. He also brings a build and frame that the Giants don't really have much of in their receiving core right now. I think he's about 6'3". I think he's over 200. Yeah, he's 6'3", 200 pounds. Like, we don't have that, in our receiving room right now. Neighbors is 6 foot. Slayton is about 6 foot. Wandale is 5'8", 5'9".
Juice is 6'1".
About 6 foot.
Juice is 6'1". Yeah, I hear you.
But like, Juice is probably not making the roster. I can say that with almost absolute certainty. Great guy to have on the practice squad, though. Just have him and be Jackson Dart's old buddy. That's a good story. But guys like Smith Marset, he's just, I feel like, a lock because of the special teams and being our number one return guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gunnar Olszewski, I think if he were to make the roster, it would be as a return guy. I think he's.
Yeah, they brought him in late.
Yeah. But then, like, we're also operating under the assumption that they're only keeping 6 wide receivers. And then, like, most of the time they've only kept, I think, 3 tight ends. We've got a bunch of tight ends. We've got Theo Johnson. Yeah, we've got Theo Johnson, Bellinger, Mannertz, Dolchich, and Fedoni. That's a lot of tight ends. We're not keeping all of them. Theo's a lock, I would say, and that's about it.
So you get the anxiety that I'm dealing with here. This is like.
I don't know if I would frame it as anxiety, more like.
Well, I'm feeling for me. You call it what you want to call it. Then this is what I'm calling it.
You've got anxiety about it. I'm just very intrigued as to the like what direction they choose to go. I've certainly got my preference. Like, I would, of Washington, Miller, and Collins, the one I would most want to keep is Collins. I think Miller is very good as a gadget guy right now, but he still leaves a lot to be desired as a running back, as a pure runner. He still has some vision issues in terms of hitting holes and navigating his way through the gaps, but he's done most of his damage just all right. Check down, and he's just fast, and he'll get up the field. But he hasn't really offered and shown much as a running back. Tracy has been able to find, and make some out of nothing, or just get those 3 dirty yards,
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I would expect Devin Singletary to be better at that. We haven't seen anything from Cam, But I would expect Cam Scatabo to be able to do some of that. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, and my preference is if we were to keep one, if we can only keep one, it would be keep Collins.
I feel like as the board, so to speak, is set right now, if it turned out to be that way for the most part, I think I'd be okay with it. I don't think because right now Bo Collins is in a good spot. If we're working off of this that we're seeing right now, depth chart wise, he's in a good spot. I know Fedon was dealing with some injuries. I don't like where he's at in this, in the whole numbers game. It's a little bit concerned about it. Uh, as far as Miller goes, I give what you're saying about some of the issues. I think that on special teams he helps us because he brings something that we don't really have there, haven't had in quite a while, and that's that speed. When you have that kind of lightning fast speed, and you got guys that are lumbering down the field, that kind of speed is valuable going against that. So I don't want to see him at least not have a chance there. I don't like where Little Jordan is in the depth chart right now, especially because it looks like Hyatt is getting the spot over him. I'm like, oof, I don't think I care for that very much, but I say anxiety, but it's kind of like tongue in cheek. I'm not stressed out about it. I'm just like, I'm kind of chomping at the bit, waiting to see when they do this announcement and see what we have because, man, I mean, Giants fans know this. It's like, I want to beat a dead horse about it, but it's like, we've been through so much, so many ups and downs, mostly downs. I'm like, I want to just see a team that goes out there and competes. That's why I'm kind of stressing some of these little things that we see in the players that we talk about every week. I'm like, I just want to see some consistency. See guys go out there with some fight and some grit and some toughness, man. I've seen teams that and people that are in the Giants fandom that claim to know this, they don't because they weren't even alive long enough. If your birthday starts with the year 2000 anything, it's not a lot you can tell me about anything regarding the Giants. No offense intended, but they haven't seen certain things that I'm talking about. And this time with teams that didn't have the quote unquote best talent, even in the division, much less the league, and they gritted stuff out and they did things that were deemed impossible and they won on a high level. I just want to see guys go out there and fight and scrap and put in the work. I seen times people's head was down, body language was off. Just go out there and just fight and grit it out, man. Because we talking about what, 18 games? Just get out here and just fight, man. Get out here and work, man. So I mean, so that's why this training camp probably been the most exciting one I've been a part of and seen in quite a while now. So I'm excited to see these little things. I'm getting attached to players. That's why I'm saying some of what I'm saying about certain people because I'm getting attached. I'm like, man, if we can use that in a game, it would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not a real game, but I'm like, man, if we can channel some of this, pour this into a bottle, I think we can do some stuff, man. I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking about punt return. I'm thinking about special teams play. I'm thinking about linebacker. I'm thinking about everything. I'm like, if we just bottle some of this, we won't be a pushover in this season like everybody thinks we're going to be. You know? What's next, brother? I don't want to bore everybody, man. What's next?
Nah. So kind of getting into some more roster talk. Something that I've heard, I've seen some chatter about on Twitter. The 2022 class is coming up for extensions. That means guys like Wandale, McFadden, theoretically Kayvon, but we picked up his 5th-year option. We're going to have to start looking to extend these guys. So, obviously right now, Izudu, Flott, Bellinger, McFadden. All right, so I'm just going to read this out. 2020, these are the guys that theoretically we can look to extend right now. For these guys up for first, second contracts.
Okay.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal, Wandale Robinson, Joshua Azudu, Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger, Dane Belton. Is Dane Belton still on the team?
Yes.
All right. McFadden, DJ Davidson, Marcus McKeithen, Darian Beavers. I haven't heard anything about Darian Beavers in a long time.
Yeah.
All these guys, that was the Giants 2022 class. I would love to extend McFadden early. And being that we picked up Kayvon's 5th year, he's the only one that I'm like, let's just get this done. Wandale is good. And if he were to maybe be willing to do like a Darius Slayton kind of deal, like which was essentially like $12 million a year, I would do that for him. But I don't know what he's going to ask with, how crazy the wide receiver market has gotten. Evan Neal, I don't know, maybe at the end of the year, if we could sign him for like real dirt cheap as a like depth piece on the offensive line, like he looked okay at guard in his minutes against the Jets. I think it is so clearly still GVR's job there at right guard. And that's not a question, but if Evan Neal can continue to improve and just be a solid depth piece, like I'd give him like a 2-year deal, $5 million each year, something like that. Just to be depth on the offensive line.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to extend Bellinger. Azudu, another guy, could be good depth if we actually played him at his natural position at guard, which we finally did against the Jets. And hey, as a depth piece, he looked okay. He looked pretty good. But I think they're going to end up letting most of these guys walk. If I'm being honest, I think most of this draft class is going to leave this year.
I think they're going to do the same thing, and part of it is because, and I don't think it's just because of the finance. I think part of it is because just the regime having. How do I say this delicately? Just because of where this regime is at right now, meaning Dayball and Shane, this is where they are right now. They're kind of fighting for their child at this point in time.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta do everything you can do. Nostalgia can be a part of this. A lot of these guys that have been there for a while, like you said, they still got Azuzu at tackle. They don't even see him. You don't see value for him to be at guard. There's a lot of missing pieces that just kind of don't fit. And if they're going to have any chance of survival, they got to make some changes that's going to make a difference. And I just kind of feel like that's just kind of one of those things. For me, I love what you said though. I think McFadden is the guy that you got to get locked down. I mean, he's a starter for sure. You would lock him down early, especially with the kind of the cap money that we're working with right here. He's probably one of the league's best linebackers, or at least most promising at least. And I told you that linebacker a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, and I'm like, I'm concerned about the position a little bit. I love Okereke, and don't get me wrong, I love McFadden there, but I think we can improve there, and we really didn't get a chance to really do that, at least not through the draft directly. But he had 267 tackles, 6 sacks, interception, a lot of eye on the ball kind of plays out there. I think has the potential to be a long-term starter for us, and I know that basically Okereke is at a place where he is. I mean, he's been solid, I guess. Solid pickup for us a couple of years ago, and it's just like I feel like McFadden is not the kind of guy we can let slide. So I'm not saying he's the only one, but we gotta have McFadden back on this team. So definitely find a way to get him going. Evan Neal, like you said, I don't know, man. That's a double-edged sword right there. Because suppose he does really, really well at guard. he may get in his mind, you know what? Hey, even though I've been crippling you guys years before that, now I'm doing great. I deserve the money. That's not how I see it. That's not how I see that. I see something that if people want to have a bidding war for him, by all means, go right ahead. I let them win that bidding war. If he wants to be with us, if he wants to remake his career, I feel like playing consecutive years at the guard spot and doing it proficiently will help you out in future. That's just how I think. I'm not a player, so I'm not. I get that, but if I was him, that's how I would think about this. Because your first four-way on the Giants wasn't good, and there's tape to show it. So the big money ain't gonna happen for you unless you rebuild that thing. So for him, if he wants to stay at a clip like what you were talking about, I'm not sure that number's that you gave us a viable number. Not sure about that, but anything in that range, copy that. So anything like that, that's fine. I'm good with that because we need to have as much not warm bodies. I don't mean that, but as much young, healthy, viable players as possible, especially on that line because some of these guys they on their last go around. GVR is he's 34 or is he
35.
older than that? Okay,
I think he's
I,
35.
okay, so we ain't as versatile as he is. I don't feel like we got a whole lot of time there. So we got to start thinking about the future. I'm not sure if JMS is where he needs to be at. To be honest with you, because I can't see some things on TV, I have no idea if he's been good or bad. I have no idea. All I know is that the line needs to improve.
Not
I have
great,
no idea.
but not
Scary.
heinous.
So we're looking at Slotman. What are we doing there with that? Another topic altogether. But the point is that the line needs help. The line needs to be rebuilt in a way. We need to have better depth back there for the guys who want to take over for the guys that we think are marginal or getting older, etc. So McFadden's the guy, man. Please, you got to have him in this conversation about getting the extension. But I totally agree with the rest of it, though.
Yeah, Bobby Okereke is a weird one because with his 1 year under Wink, he was phenomenal. Then we bring in Shane Bowen, and he took a big step back. So this is going to be a very important year for him. I know the staff seems to be they really like what's his name? Darian Masseau. Yeah, Masseau.
Darius
Masseau.
Musau.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm not sure.
Back, I'm not sure. The linebacker out of UCLA. 7th round pick last year. He's a little undersized in my opinion. How big is Bobby Okereke? Let's see.
I think he's like 6'3", I think.
He is 6'1", 240.
6'1". Oh, I got that wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Darius is 6 foot 230. So Bobby Okereke's got an inch of height on him and about 10 pounds. It's honestly closer than I was thinking it was, but whatever. My opinion, Darius has been a little undersized. I don't understand the infatuation. I know there was a lot of hype around him coming out of college. I don't remember quite why he fell all the way to the 7th. Like, he was our final pick in 2024. So not the 7th, the 6th round. I'm sorry. But they need to figure out what they're doing with him because he's still got 2 years on his deal, Bobby Okereke. Shane made a comment saying like, yeah, he's got 1 more year left. He's got 2. So I don't know if that was just, Shane off the top of his head couldn't exactly remember, oh, is it 1 year, is it 2 year? Or if that's kind of calling out like, hey, we might be looking to move on from him if he has another down year. I would obviously, you would always prefer a trade rather than a cut, but Bobby Okereke to me is still very clearly the best linebacker on the team. He isn't that expensive. It's not like he's getting paid $20 million a year. He's a $14 million cap hit, I think, this year. But the sooner we can get a Micah McFadden extension done, the better. Because if he has if he's improved each year, if he continues that trend, he's going to be looking for some bigger money. And we might not even be able to pay it. Next year, we're projected slightly below middle of the pack in cap space because Brian Burns' contract is really going to start heating up. Andrew Thomas is going to be having a cap hit over 20 mil. Dexter Lawrence is going to have a cap hit of over 20 mil. Paulson Adebo is going to have a cap hit of over 20 mil. Javon Holland is going to be near 20. So contracts are going to start, eating up space there. So whatever we can get done for Micah McFadden, I would say get it done now.
Now it has to be done now. It can't be later. I like those guys together though. I think I've always felt like this. That they're an outstanding duo together, and the numbers that they have when they both on the field together, they have outstanding numbers in the areas that you care about when it comes to linebacker play. I'm talking about tackles and sacks. Those numbers are really good when they're together. So I like it. I'm not trying to refix the Giants just to be refixing it. If something's working and it's workable, and I think Okereke falls in this category, let these guys go ahead and cook and fix all the other stuff that we know are really glaring weaknesses that we probably need to be talking about, if not this week, at some point soon. Fix that stuff, because I think that's kind of where the concern is for me anyway. They recently ranked the top 32 linebackers in the NFL, and Okereke was ranked 6th. And PFF doesn't give out good tidings and cheer to people just because they can be pretty harsh and rough on people when it comes to these kind of rankings and whatnot. So to rank him 6th, they said they see some value there, and I tend to agree that he should be in that category as far as linebackers. I don't know if I would have picked 6, but definitely top 10 out of 32. Yeah, he did that. I mean, he was really good his last little bit of time with the Colts before. That's why when he came over, it was easy. Like, we can see it. We see what you did there. So, but you asked about how we rank them, how we grade the picks. You mean Wandale and McFadden?
Yeah, no, just like I'm just gonna go essentially to the main guys from 2022. I'm gonna read it out. And what would you as of today, what would you give that draft grade?
Oh, okay. Go for it.
So Kayvon, what would you give that draft grade?
Letter grade?
Yeah, letter.
Right now, I'm going with a solid B right now.
Solid B.
Yeah. I don't know where to go with the whole contract thing. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I'm really not sure what to do there. I'm glad I'm not in charge of that because I don't really know what to do there. All the trade rumors, that helps, I guess. That people actually must want him there, but I don't know where extension wise. This season's going to tell me that, but I can't talk to you about them until week 16, at least. Talk about whether he should be extended or not. I can't tell you that right now. It's not fair.
We picked up his 5th year, so he's not as pressing. We still have him under contract for another year, but I would give him a B-.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Evan Neal.
You know what he's getting.
F.
What he does this year. Well, I think F is like the very worst you can have. It's an F. He would have got cut, so it can't be an F. I'll give him a D. Yeah.
D plus.
D minus. No. There's no pluses along with his name right now. So I'll go with a D minus. That sounds about right to me. Maybe he was out of position. Maybe I don't know what it was, but he in Alabama, it wasn't that. I got friends that are diehard Alabama fans still apologize, sending me apology messages. Sorry for Evan Neal. Because they can't explain it either. They can't understand what happened. They don't know where he fell off at. It can't be coaching. Something else is happening up here. But right now it's a D minus until otherwise indicated. Go ahead. What else you got?
Wandale.
He had over 100 yards last year. It's hard to squash him, but it's like I don't know.
He has had a total of 1,451 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns in his career. Last year, Malik Neighbors had 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. And
Okay,
obviously,
come on, wait a minute now.
I know it's not fair, but like
Wait a minute.
my he's a slot guy that is barely averaging like what is it? He's averaging under like 10, he's averaging other like 10 yards of reception. Like he needs, if he can put together a good year this year, I would say it's like a B. But it felt like, especially with benefit of hindsight, they wanted a corner. There was the run on corners, and then they took him over a guy like George Pickens, where George Pickens is so clearly the better receiver, way more of a head case. But I don't know. It's just the pick hasn't aged super well.
Okay, that's
I would
fair.
give it like a C plus.
Okay. I get why you would do that. That
Mm-hmm.
that I can't really fault you for that. What I'm thinking about, because he's a slot receiver, I'm sitting there, okay, he can't have the same numbers as his neighbor. That's just not cool. I can't do that. But uh I'm going to compare him to another slot receiver who I think was super productive last year, and that's Khalil Shakir from the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to compare the two of them because I think that there's some comparable stuff there. But I think one of the biggest things about both of them that gives Shakir the edge there is that he got less targets, but he got more yards with him. Wandale got 140. Shakir got 100. Shakir had 821 yards. Wandale had 699. 10.8 yards a clip for Shakir, 7.5 for Wandale. The touchdown ratio was 4-3. So, like I said, they were just yardage guys. I think both of them are that. I would love for Wandale to be more of a deep threat end zone guy because I think that'll help him and help the team as a result. Guys are worried about Neighbors and Slayton. They get worried about Wandale too. That's a good problem for us to have. That's what we wanted for Hyatt. Just didn't work out that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the C2. I'm gonna stop short of the C plus. I'm just gonna say C, a
Mm-hmm.
flat C for that grade. Uh, I think as long as we have a spot at wide receiver 3, he can always have it. But I just don't see any. I don't see anything else beside that for him. I could be dead wrong about that. Maybe the future guys is come up on a roster somewhere, but I don't know who that would be. But I think for right now, it works for now. But I think if that doesn't increase, and you have to ask for more from slot receivers too. You can't just ask for more from the X and the Y guy. You got to ask for more from the slot guys too. I kind of feel like there needs to be more from him, especially this year. With all the attention being on Neighbors like it is, he has to come through. He has to catch passes. He has to run good routes, and just be heady about what he's doing out there because the competition is getting harder, not easier. So I'm gonna stick with a C. What else you got?
Well, I
That's the end of the
want to
road.
include Mike McFadden would be, I think, the last one for this little exercise because
I'm high on
Izudu
him, so
hasn't played enough. Flott hasn't really played enough. Bellinger hasn't played enough. Bellin hasn't really played enough. It feels like, especially in starting roles. But so yeah, let's end this with McFadden. What grade would you give McFadden?
I'm going A-. I think he's a starter and a very good one. I think the better things are on the other side of the line, the better it is for him. So that's gonna play a part, but I like him. I like him a lot.
I'm gonna
Definitely
give
down for the
him
extension.
I'm gonna give him like a B plus can't go
Right.
quite yet, but I think the
Gosh.
sheer value of, like this is a
Gosh.
5th round guy. And we kind of got like a starting caliber player out of a 5th round pick, which doesn't happen very often, it feels like, especially not for the Giants. But
Well, we got a lot of stuff on the docket, man. How are we gonna? What are we leaving for next week? What are we touching on for the rest of the show? Because we're there already.
well, I
A good
feel
problem
like
to have, though.
we could I could kind of give we can give like speed run our thoughts on the preseason game.
Yeah.
I feel like there isn't too much different to say compared to the first one against the Bills. So, against the Jets, offensive line looks solid.
He's
Both
been playing
starters
very
and
well,
depth,
man.
both
He's been
starters
playing very
and
well.
depth played well. I don't remember if guys like Quinnen Williams and Jermaine Johnson played for the Jets, but overall, they play the starting unit and depth played well. Russ had that massive bomb to Bo Collins. Really hoping to see more of that. And overall, the starting offense played well. I thought Jackson Dart continued to play very well.
Oh yeah.
Wish they would do a little bit more down the field with him instead of so many screens, but he's doing well. He's taking what the defense gives him. They're clearly running stuff that makes him feel more comfortable, stuff that he's a bit more used to. But he's going to need to step out of that comfort zone.
That play that Dolchus was incredible. I was
Yeah, it
on
was a great throw. My
plane flying back.
favorite,
I'm like, he threaded that one.
yeah, my favorite throw was actually the 19-yarder to Montreal, Washington, where he just zipped it, right into a narrow gap, hit through it where Washington could get it. Great pass. Defensive line, defensive starters wasn't as flashy and splashy of a day, mainly because when they were in, the Jets felt like they could only run the ball. And, we got gashed. Someone other than Dex is going to need to step up. But knowing that this is what our defensive line is capable of without the best defensive tackle in football, dude, it's going to be so fun to watch these guys. Adebo had a great pass breakup on Garrett Wilson, but honestly, what might have been the defensive play of the day was Cordell Flott breaking. What? Yeah, Cordell Flott, a one-on-one with Garrett Wilson, and I forget if it was 2nd or 3rd down. I think it was 3rd down. Justin Fields throws the ball. Flott turns his head and sticks with and dives, clean pass breakup, knocks the ball down out of the air, just shut down Garrett Wilson for a play.
I hate that, right?
And that's the sort of thing that Deonte Banks needs to be able to do. And the fact that Deonte Banks still isn't practicing right now, it looks like Cordell Flott might have stolen the CB2 job back. But again, so much of this, until we get that first, official depth chart, it's all up in the air.
So you talking about over K Banks? You talking about?
Over what?
You said the CB2. You said over K Banks?
Yeah, right now. I think right now with Banks out injured still, and Flott having maybe the best play of any defensive player on Saturday. I've seen more from him in that one in the Jets game than we saw from Deonte Banks in the Bills game. And Flott was going up against one of the maybe like top 15 wide receivers in football. Deonte Banks wasn't going to Deonte Banks wasn't going up against even Khalil Shakir, a guy you were talking about earlier, or he wasn't going up against Keon Coleman. And those guys aren't anywhere near Garrett Wilson's level.
Wow.
So
That's interesting. That's an interesting battle, man. I love the the fight there because we need guys going to step up. I know you kind of felt that Flott wasn't the guy overall, despite the position battle, but it's like as much competition as we can have there, man. That's a good thing. A commenter somewhere said that that Flott had Garrett Wilson in Alcatraz. I'm like, wow. Was it that serious or was it just one play? Like,
it
had
was
him
the
in
one
Alcatraz.
play. It
I was
was
like,
one
oh,
play. I'll tell you this much.
that's a lot.
Jets fans have been talking so much smack. It is
Why?
they got little brother syndrome. They going into the game, they were like, "Oh, we're gonna beat the brakes off the Giants. Giants haven't beaten the Jets. They're still hanging on that one preseason game from 2011. Oh, yada yada yada." And then we just beat the brakes off of them, and they're like, "Bro, why are Giants fans treating this preseason game like their Super Bowl?" And it is, and they keep trying to make the where Abdul Carter got chip blocked and put in the dirt one play. And that's been like their highlight of the year. Abdul Carter was actually responding to them, being like, this is going to be the one highlight that Jets fans have to look forward to on offense all year. Enjoy it while you can. Like, dude, that the beef between Abdul Carter now and Jets fans made it to ESPN this morning. They were talking about it. I saw it live on Get Up. They were talking about it. Jets fans can't handle that, they're forever the little brother.
It's for life. There's only one way they can solve this problem. I've suggested it for many years. There's only one way you can fix this. If you guys really want to fix this, Woody Johnson, if you want to fix it, one way to solve it: relocate. That's how you solve it. Move. Your fan base ain't that big. Your fan base ain't that big anyway. Move. Relocate to a place where they will appreciate your talents. And you can escape the big brother shadow and move.
I would say get out of our stadium, but honestly, they could have MetLife. It's a pretty shitty stadium. Pardon my French there.
The Oakland Jets. There you go.
St. Louis can get a football team again.
The St. Louis Jets. It sounds really nice. Go for it. I'm sure they'd love to have you out there. You ain't doing nothing out here. This argument is worthless. This is nothing happening with this. All right, so I know we got a lot of meat left on the bone, but we'll grab it next week. I want to ask you a question. It's been sitting here in front of you all night long.
Yes.
I want to go ahead and ask the question because honestly, I got to think about it. But I thought it was so cool. I said, let's go ahead and tackle this and end the show with this. If I had the answer, it'd be great because I'm not even sure I have one. I got guys that I like a lot, but I'm not even sure what the answer is. Greatest Giants quarterback of all time.
So I feel like the actual answer is going to be a guy that played in like the 50s, 60s in terms of like
all right.
racking up. No, I'm not. I want you to just let me go on a spiel for a little bit. Because the Giants are known historically as a defensive team, but that's been a lot of linebackers and defensive ends. Everyone from LT, Strahan, even, the couple years there of Snacks Harrison. Now we've got Dexter Lawrence. We have the guys like Tuck and JPP, and then you get into like Carl Banks, all those guys from the 80s. Like, that's what we're known for. We're not known for like these incredible corners. The two best that I've ever seen that I watched was very brief stints with the Giants was Janoris Jenkins and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie would be my answers. Like who I think, like I think they were both Pro Bowlers. I think DRC got a second team All Pro there in 2016. And also, I think they were both All Pro. I think Jenkins might have been fighting. He might have had a first team All Pro, or maybe he was a second team All Pro as well. But
He had both. All first year All Pro and Pro Bowl nods. Yeah, he had both of them.
yeah, in 2016. So that would be my answer. I don't know, like, because again, like the Giants are more well known for their linebackers and defensive ends than they are their corners. Like we've never had a Dion, or giving Jets fans a little bit of their due here. We never had anybody as good as Revis. We never had Night Train Lane, or we've never had anybody quite like that. So what do you think the answer is?
uh, I like both of the guys you named, DRC and Genosa, guys that come to mind. Guys I've actually seen. That's important. I really like Corey Webster a lot. I mean, I felt so comfortable with him being out there. I mean, he was a consistent producer year in and year out, so it wasn't like it was hard to put his name out there, man. But
he was
I think
on
I'm going with
teams, right?
Huh?
He was on the 07 and 11, I think.
I believe he was 2008, 2011 for sure. That was his best year, career high 6 interceptions. I like Mark Collins though. Second round pick. I don't think people thought he would be what he was. I mean, he had basically 8 years with the Giants, played 112 games, 17 interceptions, 7 fumble recoveries, all over the ball, 515 solo tackles. The man was doing more than just batting down passes. He was tackling people. He was a big part of the defense that was the first Giants Super Bowl 25. Locked down Jerry Rice in the playoffs. Nobody talks about this. But I will do today. Jerry Rice has been by everyone to a man considers him the greatest wide receiver of all time. Nobody really disputes that. People talk about Megatron, but nobody really disputes that. People talk about I'm blanking out Michael Irvin, but nobody disputes that Jerry Rice was the greatest of all time. And Collins shut him down. And he was on a part of 2 Super Bowl winning squads under Bill Parcells. I don't know how to pick anybody else. So I'm gonna just stick with Mark Collins. We'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on the greatest Giants quarterback of all time. Who are you picking? You picking DRC? Picking Jack Rabbit? Picking Mark Collins like myself? Corey Webster? Who are you picking? I love Jason Sehorn, but injury history just knocked him out of the box, man. But I love all of those guys. Who are you guys picking for greatest Giants cornerback of all time? Hit us up in the comments section. Let me hear that from you. Any closing thoughts, Jess, before we get out of here?
Just can't wait to see what the Giants do on Thursday, if they play the starters at all, and then that's gonna be one last week before NFL season. But luckily, we've got college football to just tie us over for a little bit longer. So it'll be here before we're gonna blink and it'll be here, and I cannot wait.
Let's talk college football too when you get a chance, man. Get some text threads flowing, man. But good to see you in the box again, brother. Hope all is well. And thank you guys for watching and listening to the Big Blue Lifers podcast. Big Blue 24/7, 360.